There are two types of people in this world: movers, shakers, and stand-stillers. People that make shift happen while others ask what in the world just happened. Which one are you? Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Start Thinking Forward podcast, where we make shift happens. This is a show where we make a difference in our listeners' lives every single day. Want to learn more? Visit us online at www.brendon-draper.com to have an opportunity to connect with a winning team or to attend one of our power-packed events. The Start Thinking Forward podcast was designed for business owners and entrepreneurs looking for a slight edge or unique cutting-edge ideas to take their business to the High Performance League. Your host, Brendon L. Draper, better known as the Motivational King, is a best-selling author, serial entrepreneur, international speaker, business innovator, producer, social media personality, and top leadership development trainer, featured in many news publications around the country. This podcast will deliver high-performance talks to inspire the entrepreneurial spirit within you.
What's going on, guys? It's Brendon L. Draper with the Start Thinking Forward podcast, bringing you another explosive podcast for this week, right before you go into Thanksgiving. So just to tell you a little bit about this episode, one is explosive. If you're going through something in your life, making a transition, making some life decisions, going through a storm, have a problem with procrastinating, had some issues with your, self-image. I mean, it's a lot of things we're going to talk about in this podcast. Some of it may be controversial. Some of those things that we're going to talk about are thought-provoking, things that are going to make you think, so you don't want to miss this. But most importantly, we don't want you to miss any show. So what I want you to do is please visit us online. Subscribe to my Instagram at The Real Motivational King, so you can know when we put these new podcasts on. And the same thing for Facebook. Follow us so that you can hear these podcasts and be able to share it with other people that need the next number, the next combination to change their life. Because one thing about our podcast is real talk for real people. Hey, listen in on this hour and 22-minute power hour. It's explosive. You don't want to miss a second. Don't skip over. Listen to it, man. I promise you, if you don't get from anything else that you heard this year, you're definitely going to get something that's going to be mind-altering from this podcast. I urge you to listen to every single minute. Hey, guys, tune in.
Wi-Fi, telecommunications, all kinds of stuff rolling through. That's just through us. Now, when I say that in regards to, I think the universe, cosmos, however you want to look at it, ideas are the same way. Ideas are literally running through. And maybe at one moment, which is why we say, oh man, it just popped into my head. Your brain picked up on a frequency, it picked up on the idea, and what does God love? God loves energy. In other words, motion. And then that thing sits. You hold it a little bit, and over time it fades. But at the same time, that signal's still just flowing. And somebody else, exact same idea. Oh shit. Oh, no. Hey John, when do you think we can get these orders? You look up and they're moving like you said. But the idea is always like, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just kind of putting it in the way that I know, the way I feel like I see it, because I've seen my inventions made, and I won't say my inventions, but the invention I had in my head made years after I thought it, but I put no action towards it. And
So what is that? I mean, like, and that's the biggest quote unquote conundrum of it all, is because it's like I struggle with that. Like right now, like someone can be sitting there, oh man, I want to start a store, right? And I know what it is to be on the other side of wanting to start something and having nothing. So when I first started business, for years and years and years, I didn't understand the importance of having an email list. So I had a very few, maybe 20 people on the email list, and it's people that I had personal touches with. But overall, I never had a compile of an email list. I didn't understand the importance of that. So you got someone that says, hey, I want to open up a store, right? And the first thing they're going to tell you is the importance of having an email list. I don't even start. That's the first thing most people want to say. I don't have no email list. You know, these people got thousands and thousands of people on the email list. So I'm looking at it like this. So I'm sitting here. I got people on my email list, right? I got it. I built it. I did something right out of the equation. I got people on the email list. But when I look back and say, well, out of all these people that I got, I haven't even reached out to these people to say, my mom used to say, what she used to say, talking about, hey, bye, sky, kiss my butt, whatever. I didn't say none of these people over months and months and months and months. So I got the information, but it's a matter of what I'm doing with it. That's the shortcoming.
That's what I was saying earlier, is that information is so important to at least have. Would I rather be? That's what, you know. Would I rather be a person? Would I rather be unknown or let's say oblivious to the information? Sometimes yes, because if you don't know, you don't know. You can live your life knowing. Sometimes knowing the information and being in a position you're in where you know something, but you're not doing something actually hurts worse. But in a way, there's still a part of me I would rather have it because at least I have the option.
But what about learning about how to do the option? See, that's the thing. That's
no, don't get me wrong.
Exercising that muscle to be able to do, and I mean, like even that. I don't remember who said it, but on the top of my head, but it was like having all the skills. But most of the skills, when it comes to business or doing anything, most of the skills are things that we can acquire. If you're a bad salesman, you can acquire the skill. Mm-hmm. If you're a bad marketer, you can acquire those skills. But it's that part of you that actually takes the action to acquire that next skill. Because even you got people that got a good product. They may have good marketing. They're making the sales, but they got poor support, or so their business still falls apart. So it's like
or just stay stagnant. But
yeah, or you know what I'm saying? Like there's no one of these pieces that, you know, I heard this concept before, and it was like, what's the best marketing? Is it YouTube? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is this? And I mean, it was listening to a bunch of stuff, and the guy said all of them. And I was like, what do you mean? How can it possibly be all of them? What's the one that you would suggest? He said all of them. He says, what I've learned is that a little bit of everything works. So when you got a little bit, and he said basically you're giving people different medians to purchase. He said so a little bit of Facebook. Some people may buy off of Facebook, but if I'm only banking on Facebook, he said, what about Facebook changing the algorithm or something that I'm doing that's not in compliance? So now if I'm relying on that only as one marketing source, they change something up, I'm messed up. An example of that today is YouTube. YouTube, all these people were making these videos with kids, and you know, doing crafts and supporting toys or whatever. And basically they said, hey, how are we accounting for the hours that these kids are quote unquote working? Because this is kind of considered, because you're advertising, you're monetizing these pages, someone's getting paid off of that. So what did they say? You know what? If you got to agree to these terms, and these terms say that if you got children on your video, then these videos cannot be monetized. Wow. So you think about how many people build a business off of children's stuff, and now they're used to getting, let's just say they're getting $20,000, $30,000 per channel. They got 3 channels, so they're making about let's just say $100,000 a month. Now in one day, because that's all you had your stuff focused on, and that was your main source of revenue, and one day everything's gone because they changed their terms of conditions. Yep. So when he said a little bit of everything, have it that if one thing changes, it does not change your business per se as much, or it's not going to be end of the closed doors.
Yeah, what was I can't remember what century that was that said don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's pretty much probably when they say business 101, that's probably part of business 101, which is you can't just market to one group.
And having something like the email list is so important in the business. And that goes back, like I thought it was so unimportant for the longest. I don't know why. Some people say, "Oh yeah, I know it's important." If you knew it was important, why you didn't do it? I didn't think it was important, and then when I realized it was important, I still didn't do it. So it really didn't matter if I thought it wasn't important or it was, because I still didn't do anything. Then when I realized it was important, let me figure out a way on how to do it. And when I did it haphazardly. I did it.
That's, yeah.
You know, and one of the reasons I did it haphazardly because one part of it, I really didn't know what I was doing. Mm-hmm. You know, I was just putting the pieces together like, okay, they give an option for me to do this. Since I'm getting the information, why don't I put this and have this to send this over here? And I'm like, okay, I guess this is what everyone else is doing. That's what they were talking about. But it took me to go to one step, researching and looking and saying, well, there's another step that I can tie this information to something else that no matter what business I'm in, guess what? At a minimum, I got this amount of people subscribe to me on this platform. Then on another platform, and I'm just showing you. And once again, I got these numbers. The numbers don't lie, but guess what? I'm not doing nothing with the numbers. So if you don't do nothing with the numbers, how am I that's what I'm just coming from, if that makes sense.
No, it does. No. And once again, this all goes back down to that power thing. If you're not doing anything with the power, so
it's like you don't have any. Just wanted to pull this up real quick.
No problem. I'm in meditation right now. I'm thinking. I got 3 things running through my head right now. This is all coming back to how it started me even being here for the most part, and what we said a while back, and I kind of said it to myself long ago, is that I've literally got to find something, the one thing, to get it off the ground. Because at this current moment, my island is sinking, and I'm working on 8 ships.
The thing about it is, it goes back to the Vikings. What did the Vikings say? They were like, when it got down to the wall, they felt like people were going to try to run, and they knew that it was going to be the final fight. They said, hey, once we land, burn the ships. So we know that either we're going to make it here or we're going to die here.
No, yeah, but what I mean is that, when I'm saying that's a commitment. The Vikings didn't spread it out in 3 different wars. That's what I'm trying to get at, is that right now what I'm currently going, I'm working on all these different ships. None are floatable right now in the position, in the current state that they're in. None float. But I'm going to sink with 8. These might be 8 great looking ships, but if they all got holes in them, I'm not plugging each one. I'm not taking care of the ship. Then all of them are going to sink with it anyway. So at this current moment, I'm really just thinking, I know I need to stick to one thing, one ship, because from her example, she got up and running. She said, well, let me see how this platform works. Now, she's already making, what did she say, $500,000-$600,000 in a month, or $500,000 a year, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. She already made her money. So now she can sit back and say, now that ship is running and I'm floating, can I work on these other ships? Or now that I know this ship can float, I can now work on another ship. At this current moment, that's the position I'm in. I'm holding my ground on it, because I realize more and more. You can turn the thing if you need to, because I'm not looking at it per se just yet. More and more that I can't do 8 things at once. Nothing's getting done. I got three half of websites, 2 quarter blogs, or 2, not even half websites, but 3 started websites, 2 started blogs. Nothing's off the ground. YouTube channel's not started. Nothing's been really, and I won't say that they're not started, but yeah, there's no real action, and a lot of it, I'm allowing myself to pull. I'm pulling myself from different things. I'm not focused. That's the biggest part.
So that goes back to, why are you not focused? So there has to be some underlying, like, okay, why are you not focused? Am I not focused because I think that all these things can work? Or I'm not focused because I believe that if I put all my energy into one thing and that doesn't work, then I don't have anything to fall back on? Where's that energy coming from? Is it coming from somewhere? Just figuring out what that is.
That, for me, and I'm going to speak just for me, it comes from the clinical term of like ADD, but I don't believe in it. But because I have not learned a system that allows me to dump ideas, dump thoughts, properly. So when I have 20 things rumbling through my head, I try to act upon it because I want to get thought out of my head. And what does that do? That pulls me away. Instantly pulls me away from what I was doing. So now that can lie. That could be. I could put that emotion somewhere deeper into the what they call those, the two main emotions, love and fear. I could put that in fear. But for me, I think they're all great ideas. Much like what you just said, I don't know where. Some of them I stand stagnant because I don't know what the next step is. Or I'm not sure what the next step is, and I've got to arc weld this frame on this boat, and it's some gasoline still inside this tank.
But this is the thing that I have battled with, and I always tell people all the time. I'm like, what do you mean when you say I don't know what the next step is? Is what you're talking about something that's revolutionary to the industry or something?
No, when I say I don't know, it just means my lack of knowledge. Not that there's no...
But I'm saying the lack of knowledge comes from where? Because we live in a society, we live in a world now where if we really strongly want to do something, we can find...
But that's the key. That's why I said, if I've got 8 ships going and I don't know what to do on this one, what's going to happen? What's the most logical thing that most people would do? Well, I'll work on the one that I do know. I can put my little energy towards this one because I know what I need to do on this one for right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll put that one to the side until a quote-unquote ideal or something hits them. I'm not saying that how everybody works, but I know that's how I've been in the situations I've been in my businesses, so forth and so on. I understand that's where I've been. I don't know how to get the information. I'll look it up. I'll do a little research. It didn't come to me like that, so even if I don't say I'm going to go work on something, usually something, being in whatever position I'm in, the idea will pop into my head, and I'll start working on another project. Oh, you know what? I could probably do this thing and this other thing, and I could probably use this and this. I just learned this one trick, and I guess I could use it with this one, or I could implement whatever the case may be for this. Pull me away from the other one, and once again, 8 ships, none ready to float. So. Like my YouTube channel right now, I want it to be perfect, and I know it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be perfect. I mean, when I say shouldn't be, I mean I don't expect myself to. I guess it's the comparison. I'm looking at other people's pages that probably may have been going on for the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and I think I want my site to look like this. And it's not that it's impossible, but it may not. And it's harder for me to accept that. I want it to be just right.
But there's never just no such thing.
Well, no, you can put out. I mean,
when you saying that, you're talking yourself into the reason for you not to do it.
Well,
there's no such thing as perfect.
Not perfect, but I'm not saying that's what I'm trying to say. It's not that it's perfect. I'm saying, but there's times in my life I've done something that I was just like, wow, I can't believe I did that. That looks effing fantastic. And I walk away, I guess you could say, full of pride, full of joy, and for the thing that whatever I created or did. Was it perfect? That's for anyone to say. I'm not trying to judge them per se the perfect one,
mm-hmm.
but I was extremely happy. And there's a bunch of times where I've done something, and I walked away thinking, could have done better.
But that's the thing. You always could have done better.
Well, yeah, no, but that's why I said the other time I didn't want to touch it anymore. I actually thought I did. Not perfection. I just did my best, and I was proud. I didn't look back at it per se and say, I wish I could have done better. But there are some times that I've done some things, and as I was doing it, I knew it wasn't, when I say my best, because I'm either rushing or this or that.
Or you just didn't know?
Or I didn't know. And then when I got finished with it, I said to myself almost instantly, it's done, but this ain't. I mean, I'm happy, quote unquote, it's done, but this ain't what this isn't my best. And like I said, so whenever you have that feeling, the next project you start, not you, but the next project I start, there's a side that says I want to make sure that I don't walk away regretful. The only problem is if I don't start it, I stand regretful. I don't get to walk away from it.
So maybe hopefully I can give you a learning curve of this, because at this time you didn't know your boy, right? Now I consider myself in today's light a very pretty good website designer. I really do. I consider myself to be a good website designer. But it was a time. I know you're looking at this. I just want you to look at this. This is my very first website, and I never get rid of it because it's not up. It's not live. Yeah. But this is my very first website as me, as writing my book. I'm a speaker, a professional. I want to send people to my website, right? And I thought, in my mind at that time, I thought this looked good, right? Now you look. I'm a little. I'm right there. Did the little book right there. Hold on, let me see if I can go. Can't even get the So, I have my little video here. I did a little. This is it. This is the very first site. This is the site that I said I wanted Oprah Winfrey to call me and buy all my books for her audience. This is the website I would have sent Oprah, and this is the website that I would have told thousands, if not millions of people to come to and look. So I mean, this is it. Very first site. Does it look anything like what I got? You're quiet because you know what I'm saying is true. This is an example of I'm just gonna do it. I got something, but this was the foundation that led to other things. If I never done this, I would have never kept going. Like, I mean, this is
that's I agree with
awful. You. This is awful. I don't even think the blog feed even works anymore. This was complete, but I won't get rid of it because it always reminds me of how far I came. And this is not the see, right? But this ain't the worst. I mean, this is the worst. This is the absolute worst right here. But then I progressed a little bit. I'm gonna show you the next one. So the next site that I had was, where is it at? Oh, this was the next one. Yeah, that was the next one that I knew for a fact. That I knew this was definitely, and it was an improvement from the first one, definitely. But it was not a what one would consider a professional looking site. Very dark, lugubrious colors there. But I had my little thing, right? Can't keep a toll-free number to save my life. I went through so many of them things, right? But you see, I always got that 22 in there. Anyway, I want to see if I get that number back. But this was the next site, a little bit more cleaner, still kind of, they know I don't care what I could have said in the video and say how much I had it going on. Someone could look at here and say, you know what? Well, I think he may have done this.
Well, no. He may have it going on, but whoever he hired. Because whenever you say you got it going on, and then
it don't look like I mean, I had the different colors and font, not even knowing that. Oh man, that slows up your load time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see how slow this site is, not optimized at all. I had my little reviews and stuff there. I stepped my game up a little bit, but it was still, boo boo. I had my little video still up there.
Life is about creation and innovation to inspire oneself to greatness. To be an uncommon person in a world that's overcrowded with commonality. To figure out where you, as a person, belong in this world is
you
one
seen
of
the
the
video
most
before?
underrated
Okay,
and hardly done complex.
So this is where I was at, right? Start thinking forward. I don't even want to go through all this stuff, but it looks a little better. And then finally, when I stepped up to somewhat the minor leagues a little bit, I may have stuck. Look, I even had a picture of me, and guess what? I cropped out the background, man. Oh man, I stepped it up, man. I stepped my game. Oh, I think I might have did the wrong thing too. Me. Yeah, I think I went to the edit it or whatever. Let me go back. I stepped my little game up, man. I actually had my picture cropped out. Matter of fact, that was the picture you had used a photographer for. So I had it cropped out. That's me in front of
the window.
You see the progression here, right? But at no point in time was I ashamed when I had that first one. I was sending links out, bro.
But once again, that's what I mean by when you do something, even if you rush with it, but you're still happy. You're prideful of what you did.
Where is that? Where that joker at? No, that's it right. Yeah. You're prideful, but what I'm trying to get to you to understand is that I look back at it and I know that was boo-boo, right? But at the time, I got it out there. Mm-hmm. That's the action part of it.
That's the part I agree.
I had to take the action because if I never took the action, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. It would have just been like, well, I can't never get a website up, so I'm never going to really... So how anybody ever take me serious? I never have a website up. So even if I got a website, I might not look the best, but at least, shit, I don't even have... Most people don't have websites. So I'm like, I'm still a cut above, a little cleaner. You can see I'm making a little bit of progress, right? I'm tightening up my skills. Number one, I don't got the money to pay for somebody to do this, but I'm honing my skills a little bit. Looks a little bit more cleaner, still kind of, Then I had an event that I wasn't able to do. That was 2018. Do It Because They Said You Couldn't conference. I want to be able to do that. Still had my little line of speakers that didn't go through. But I was gonna have them come through. Man, it was awesome. But things just don't work at that time. But all it was a learning curve. Guess what? I'm glad it didn't work out then. Oh man, them jokers might want to fight me. All squad might have want to put nubs on me, man. I was speculating. I want to get them on the phone and talk to them jokers about that too. I was like, look, man, I think Nubs would lay hands on me. Man, I know you brought me out here, man. Where my money at, man? Oh man, we don't got no damn ticket back home. Bro, I know you ain't brought it down here in the okie doke, man. I was like, yo, if I can get some tickets sold, I'm trying to pay them. I gotta send them a confirmation showing that the ticket. And they gave me a killer deal, man. They wanted to work with me. They tried their best. I mean, I think if they came back and said, hey, man, look, bro, if you just give us $100, I'd be like, damn, that's a good deal, man. Whew. Let me get back to you, man, if I send that paperwork off to you. Let me check something. But I had a vision, I had a dream. I was doing it. But this is an example of just doing it. Just doing it. And I mean, like, there'll be times where I had to lay my head down. I had all these little flyers printed. I had another website. I think it's somewhere up there. I had a little website I was working on. Oh my goodness, man. So
what program did you use to make that flyer?
I think Canva. There'll be a link in below. Yeah, so you gonna get paid. I would like throw that in there. I'm getting the habit of just keep saying it. Just link below. Mm-hmm. But this was it, man. A little podcast and everything. And, all right, so then boom, let's get off of this. Boom. Then my next, I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna be the publisher guy. All right, first one right here. This one I can honestly say that. I made the major league, but I might have been still sitting on the bench a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I still was in there. Now, oh yeah, I'm coming in there. I'm in the batter's box now, But this is all this progression. But I had to take the action, bro. And you see, with your own eyes, you looking at, you see, bro. I did not know what the hell I was doing, man. I really didn't. I hit that button again. I didn't. I mean, you looking at the progress. Like, don't. I'm just. If I can help you, I would tell you, don't let it gotta be perfect. All it has to do is get done. It gotta get out. That's what it gotta get out. Not perfect. Not. I wish. Let me go and get something out. People gonna get their feedback. People gonna help you out. Hey man, can you give me honest? What you think about this? And what the thing about it is, you gotta ask complete strangers because you ask friends. And oh man, that look good. So I want to go back and visit some people. Like, hey man, let me show you something real quick. You remember when I had this up there? You said, "Did you really think this look good?" Or what was you saying? Like, I mean, because I don't send me an okie doke.
Well, yeah, okay.
Trying to be nice.
No, because let's look at this too. If you did Let's say a painting. You did a painting, and you ask somebody, does it look good? In their eyes, if they can't paint, damn, that look good. Because not that they're trying to impress you of any sort. Not that they're trying to give you the answer you might want to hear. It might be good to them because that's way better than what they can do. So what the answer you may get don't always take it as, oh man, I don't know, man, you might have been lying to me. It's their own personal view. Sight's good to them because that's what they're like. Dang, this looks good. Now, could they have seen better? Now, see, that also goes with the idea too. How do they think about you? And that's not necessarily wrong.
But you know what? I remember asking you that question, and I don't recall ever getting an answer. Mm-hmm. So I assumed, I guess he never looked at my stuff or what have you. But you never gave your shit your insight.
Now, you just said before people...
Yeah, man, I'm going to look at it, man. I'm going to look at it.
Before people tell you,
I'm gonna get to
it looks good. It looks good. Right? And you said you didn't want to believe it. When I don't give you an answer, you can't believe nothing. There's nothing you believe.
But you didn't tell me nothing.
That's right.
So you would have told me the truth. You would have...
Because sometimes... we say we want positive feedback, and yes, at two things. Yes, we say we want positive feedback, and it's not always That's very good. I like that. Little pictures. That's good. But
and that was that was actually done through Fiverr. Link is below. If you don't know what Fiverr is, link will be below. But you can get that link, and I believe you're gonna get like $50 or something like that, maybe $15. I don't remember what it was, but I'm gonna go with the lowest amount. Anyway, you'll be able to get if you first time using Fiverr. But all I did was go up there and create like a little, and I created that on the picture. So it was my stepbrother's Raymond, me. I think even Kent is in one of these little glimpses in the back, looking like a little gremlin. But yeah.
But the thing about it was that, man, it was
play, stay, or sway. So I mean, so this was my better step up to the big league. This
is clean.
Clean
no boxes.
Yeah, and look and watch. You see my visitor count on there went up drastically. Had a lot of stuff going on. In bookstore, author training, blogs, more publishing services. I had a good bit of things going on, but this once again, because I was out there doing something. Obviously, this is the event. I had a little bit more time, a little bit more money that I can invest back into things that will make my brand stand out. But at the beginning, it was none of that. It was just a matter of getting it out. But if you didn't get nothing out, there was no never building to this. You know what I'm saying? And then going from this, bam, to now, where we at? Where we at now? Where we at? To here. To the actual Pinnacle Point Publishing site. Now, that's those some steps. And I mean, it didn't go from horrible to great. It was horrible, semi-horrible, all right, maybe not even all right. You get a D for effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then
I'd give you a C minus.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? To this now having something that's clean, professional, SEO'd out, got my main stuff there, better with my graphics and events, going from not using Eventbrite to actually being able to do tickets actually on our site and have it tied in. So, these are things that I had to do over time and learn these different things. Whereas before, I was giving traffic to other people. So I'm creating these campaigns for people to buy tickets from me. Mm-hmm. But they're going through, and don't knock the Eventbrite, that's what they do. Yeah. But I just wanted to say it's an event platform. It's not a marketing platform. And I was throw that out there. They're not actively promoting your event. You have to promote the event to send the traffic
they're
there.
There for sign-ups.
Yeah.
So they're there for.
So my thing was, if I'm creating a Facebook campaign to get people to my event or Instagram or whatever source I'm using, why would I not send them to my own page? Number one, that's going to give me more site traffic. Two, that makes me more of an authority. The more people come to your site, unique visitors come to your site, Google's looking at that, right? But when you're sending all that traffic to another source to purchase the ticket, yeah, you're making a sale, but why can't I do that myself? And that's what I did.
Once again, it just, if you've got kickboxing, it's one thing, or kickball. You've got a kickball event coming up next Sunday. It might be one thing because Eventbrite, you're just there to kind of log on how many people might be coming, so forth.
Free,
and so on.
yeah, it's free event.
But if you're doing something for your business, literally doing something for your business. Not that Eventbrite is wrong. I'm not gonna say it's wrong, but it's definitely not the choice. Because like you said, it's not the marketing. They need to see you. They need to see what's going on. If they just see a sign-up page, it's just a random. If it's not personal, if it's friends and family, it's one thing. Sign up, Eventbrite, okay, no problem. People know what they're doing. They know what you're about to do.
When it comes to businesses and you're charging, that's when things... And don't get it twisted. I mean, they have an excellent business model because, number one, it isn't like... and I'm trying to throw them on the bus, but this is what they do. It's not like Amazon, per se, where I sell a book on Amazon. I really don't know who bought my book. Like, I don't get the email. I can't track that information. So, at least with Eventbrite, they give you the ability to be able to know who the person is, phone numbers, email, or whatever you ask for in your form, it can pass over. You can send it to a autoresponders. Now you got that information on CRM or whatever, customer relationship manager. That's what I mean by CRM. What else I said? Autoresponder or whatever, that you can constantly keep contact with these people.
And that's why I said, because I don't think that somebody who's, let's just say, some mega church said they're going to do something and they're thinking they might get 10,000 people, that they're going to necessarily go to Eventbrite per se.
I mean, a lot of them do, but that's because of not knowing. Because number one, if you're number one, and like I said, not to knock their business model or anything, but it is what it is. They get a percentage off those tickets sold. Like there's like a fee associated with that.
I'm not talking about Eventbrite. I'm just saying. I'm talking about.
But if a church, I'm saying the church got a paid event, the preacher's doing, the pastor, whatever's doing, and they get on Eventbrite, because they're thinking they're gonna get overexposure. And I mean, Eventbrite's done that by design, is that we are the premier spot for events. Absolutely. So people go there. Either they know, that's a good place to get my tickets from. Well, so and so said the tickets are on Eventbrite. But my thing is, why can't you have your own internal system where when you're selling your tickets, you're not passing those fees on to someone else? Like, hey, you're going to pay your credit card processing fees, which is normal, but that's what you're already doing, plus an additional fee, having that middleman in there.
Yep, you keep an Eventbrite, yeah.
So, as a business, you can't, I mean, the more, that's what I learned, is like, the less I can give to the middleman, the more money I can put back into my business.
Oh, of course, yeah. You become your own middleman, yeah.
So, that's all that I did. So, everything I try to do, for the most part, in-house. There's no reason for us to do an event, because I'm already spending marketing dollars, so it's a 2-for-1 for me. Really, it's 3-for-1, and that's what when you understand the business model, it starts making sense. Like, well, Brendon, like, how the hell are you talking about a 3-for-1? One, I'm promoting my site.
Yep.
Two, I'm promoting my event.
Yep.
Right? I'm getting traffic to my site. It's giving me brand awareness. Is giving me Google points, giving me Yahoo points, is giving me Bing points or whatever, Bing, Yahoo. I'm getting all points saying that I'm relevant for what I'm talking about on my site, because people are actually going there and they're spending time, they're getting my stuff, right? But if I do, without me not knowing, I go to Eventbrite, I'm making money off the event, and that's it. Now, mind you, I said 3 things. I didn't include me making money off the event. You get what I'm saying? I'm not talking about now I can take that same event that's on my website and create a blog about what happened at the event, which tying into that SEO there. All these things.
I was going to say that happened to me, to me, that summer when my cousin, we were going to go out to the hair event. She sent me the link through Eventbrite, which is good. That's just for her to log in data and know who's coming once again. But it was then up to me to say, what is this hair event? Let me go look up the hair event, and I had to go now click on. Now, average person may not do that. They may or may not. But if they have to come to your site, you have a much greater chance of somebody
going to something else.
Go sign up, and then while they're already on your site, say, what else does he or she have for sale, or what else does he or she have available, or what else does he or she have going on, so forth and so on. If they're already there. In other words, you got the customer at your store to go because the coupon said free bread. Okay. Well, now they're here, shoot, you know what, I can give me some juice while I'm here. I might come to impulse thing. But the whole point is that if you send them to if you got a free bread stand that happens to have your logo on a board behind it, all they know is the E-Vibe stand. They don't really know you. They don't know your store. So
it's building your. But I'm saying those are things that I learned over time actually doing. You know, like I didn't take a course. I didn't. I bits and pieces here and just doing it. And that's how we got to this point here in learning. Like, why am I mean, I literally looked at my numbers. I looked because they give you a graph, and the graph shows you exactly where your traffic's coming from.
Right.
And my traffic coming from Facebook. Why? Because I'm paying $5 a day for a Facebook campaign to market on Facebook people that's looking to write their books. Boom. You get what I'm saying? So, but to me, that's the missing element, is knowing, and once again, having a business that goes into the analytics of it. If you don't have a business, if you don't know what your business is doing, if I do make a sale, great, I got a sale. Where did that sale come from? How did I get that sale? And then you start what I call it back engineering.
Reverse engineering.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, now I know that I can get sales from here. Let me see how I can recalibrate that so I can get more constant sales from this particular source. Now I'm making money. Guess what? I can start investigating and looking into other sources to get traffic. And those are just little things that I learned.
That's what it goes into. It's like you said, we were talking before about the multiple venues per se.
Okay, they may come here and say, dang, I got $55, $99, and $199. They come up here and choose info. They see what that's going to. Okay, they get a 1-on-1 45-minute session, with a $299 value, and I'm getting that for $199. Ticket includes general admissions with a book brainstorming outline. Okay, they see that, but they come over here and say, all right, let me go to the workbook and see what he's talking about. Right? These are things I learned in the process, and now they come to the workbook. Now the workbooks themselves are $99. So wouldn't it make sense if you were to pay $99, not only you get the workbook, plus you
get one-on-one time.
Yeah, one-on-one time. Or that's a $199. But the $99, you would get the workbook plus you get to come to the event and learn.
Yep.
Versus getting the workbook for $99. You know what I'm saying? So that's like one of the things. And then another thing is too, what I learned too in business is not always about. They always said, how much energy do you want to use? Want to use 100% of your energy, or
1% of 100 people?
Yeah.
So forth and so on.
So check this out. Bookstore. Now I got The Compound Effect up here by Darren Hardy. I also got Shook One by Charlamagne Tha God. I also got Black Privilege, which is an excellent book. I suggest that everyone gets it. Just go to pinnaclepointpublishing.com/bookstore and you'll be on there. But look at these. These are, so every time someone purchases one of these books from us, we're getting paid as a publisher, right? These are things that I wasn't thinking about. Now what we're working on next is, guess what? Google AdSense, right? Because we don't want to miss any. That's what our site is for, is to generate revenue. So we got a whole bunch of books and we're adding more to our library. But a person come here, and this is another book too, Gabrielle Union, We're Going to Need More Wine. Come here, they're able to purchase the book right on our site, get to preview it, get a hard copy of it, add it to their cart and everything. They can even share it on our site, right? And then continue and get all these books and go to cart. So at the end of the day, these are things that I wasn't thinking of when I first started. You know, understanding the importance of, I can't capture everyone, but what if I can make some sales and not have, in our case, our biggest competitor is Amazon, right? You know, we're a publishing company. I want to be able to have the capabilities to do everything that they're doing and more. So why would I send them to Amazon? Amazon's not going to pay me, or I got to go through ropes or whatever the case may be.
If you get paid, you get trickled.
So this way, I have a streamlined way of promoting books that I support, authors that I support on our platform. They're going to get compensated, and we are going to get compensated as well. These are things that I would have never thought about before. Having blogs that truly help people and talk about things. Like I thought about every aspect of this. I thought about other people. And like I said, it wasn't perfect. It'll never be perfect. But it's always a start. Look at this. I look back at this. I'm like, man, I should have figured out how to fix that a little bit. But so what? Guess what? I got 32 views on it. 2 hearts. You know. So it's just a matter of. Just imagine if I kept doing it, because I think this was June, June 25th. So you got to just keep on doing it. There's only 3 up here. What if I kept on doing it? Do more of them. Same thing with the podcast. I'm able to monetize this now because with the podcast playing on my website, a person can stay on the website, enjoy the podcast, which is giving us relevancy, right? But when they hit the play button, guess what's going to happen? It's going to play, and we're going to get paid twice. Because number one, when this thing starts playing, guess what's going to happen? Let's hit play. What do you hear?
For Black Friday deals, Monday through Friday.
Commercials. So I monetize my podcast on my website. So now you can listen to the podcast on the website. It's giving me website traffic. Then if you listen to it, I'm going to get paid on commercials. And if I was real smart, which we are going to, we also have Google AdSense on here. Mm-hmm. So just that popping up and a person coming to my site and seeing it, that might just be 2 cents. But that's a part of business, is being able to capture as much.
Oh, no. 2 cents, and you do that, you get 800, 900,000 people to do it.
That's not a bad gig.
Yeah, that's it. 2 cents for you not doing anything.
So, I mean, so if I can say anything, it's just a matter of, I'm nobody special. I did this with my own hands, and I'm telling you, at the end of the day, it was just a matter of just going out and doing it. That's all I did. I just kept doing it, and I got better. It's like practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes better.
This is the side. I'm sorry to cut you off. And yes,
that was the point. Yeah, that was it.
This is the side of when I say of life, that somewhere, and I don't know what age. I guess for every person it might be different, but somewhere in the youth, you get screwed in your reprogramming because everything you did is no different from what babies do. It's how we start life. You basically, I don't know how many times children have picked up something, tried to open it, tried to emulate, tried to do something, but they just did it. Then they asked, could I have it? They put their finger in the cake, said, can I have it? Mm-hmm. They just did it. They really wasn't really thinking about it much. But somewhere in life we got told no just enough times that now you, like myself, we sit back and we think, question, is this right? Should I do this? By the time you're done thinking, 2 other people have thought about the idea, started it, and are already monetizing and doing everything. They're off on a beach somewhere, sitting back, chilling, while you're still sitting thinking, is this a good idea? Should I start this? Should I do this? And we have to get back to the mind of a child. Just like you said, just do it. It's really, when I say it's not that hard, it's really not. I'm even speaking out of my a-hole right now because.
No, that's how a lot of people feel.
Well, I'm saying that I'm speaking of my a-hole because I'm not following my own advice at the current moment. Even though I know what I just said, I've felt that way for years, and I know about it. When I think about it, when I'm sitting around thinking what I should be doing, there's the inner voice inside that's saying, "You should just do it." But no, wait a second, really? I think
we all. I mean, I think at the end of the day, we all do. Even the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Jeff Bezos, the Tim Ferriss, all these people, they have the same thoughts. I think they have the same thoughts. You know where my mom's from, right?
Yeah.
Where my mom from?
You said from
Now, naturally, you would think Charleston, South Carolina. My mom was really from Beaufort, South Carolina.
Beaufort, okay, that's right, Beaufort, okay.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
But check this out. My mom was to tell me, now I know my mom from Beaufort. Mom can say she's from Charleston or whatever. But I knew for a fact where my mom's family came from. My mom would tell me, he said, she's not from Beaufort. She said she's from Missouri. I said, Missouri? Well, that makes sense. Mom said to show me. She said, you got to show me what you talking about. So I look at it like this. When people tell you no and you can't do something, this is what fires me up. It's almost like if you take it like a poetic picture of it, it would look like the wind rustling, and when the wind's winding up, it's like telling you, you can't do it. But then it dissipates, it goes away. So every now and again you hear people, situations telling you, you can't do it. Okay, I hear that BS, but I'm going to show you. You have to show me I can't do it. That's how I've always been. You got to show me I can't do it. Because if I put my mind, my mom used to tell me, you put your mind to something, you can do it. Only way you don't do it is because you really don't want to do it. Right? I sit there, there's a special on, and I don't recall, it's like a documentary, this kid born with this disease, and he doesn't have any eyesight. He has eyesight, but it's very low visibility. He can't really see a lot. And this boy has a dream of being an astronaut, right? Now, anybody know anytime you're dealing with anything to do with flight and everything, gotta have 20/20 vision or correct it or wear some type of glasses or something to correct the vision, whatever the case may be. So looking at this young person, we as adults, we're grown folks, we're looking at the situation. You know, most of us would say, point blank period, is impossible for this to happen for this boy. I feel so sorry for him, but I'm looking at, he has so much heart, he thinks he can do it. And you look at it, I mean, for me, it was a tearjerker because I'm like, oh man, you know what it is to see a kid, innocent to the world, want something so bad, but in your grown-up mind, like you said, the world's beating you up so bad, you already know that the chance of him doing it is slim to none, and Slim left town 3 days ago, right?
Yeah.
So, but guess what? Because we don't dream and we never look for the possibility in things. We always look for denial of things. Guess what happened? We just say it's dead, but it's not dead to him. So guess what? Now, because of research, there's a possibility he can have his eyesight. That everything he dreamed about can really and truly happen. But he had to continue to live. And part of his living mentally and being excited was being excited about something that just woke him up. All he wants to do is talk about rockets. All he wants to do is this. That's what kept him going in the process of it. And then now this possibility comes up. So everything that his little mind has been preparing himself for now can actually become a reality. And we can understand that in our adult life is that if we keep on doing it and preparing ourselves, when the opportunity comes, we can act on it. But if we just write it off as it's not even a possibility, it's not even possible for us to do it, right? And opportunity does come, we ain't even prepared for it. Show me. If the world telling you no, let the world show you that. Because the only thing I'm gonna keep going until my very last breath, because I believe I can do it. I believe I can do anything I put my damn mind to. I believe that most people can do anything they put their mind to. It's just that they don't put their mind to it because of that narrative of being painted. You can't do it. You didn't go to college. You didn't do this enough. You know, it's all these societal constraints.
And it's funny that you said that because there's many times in my life, quote unquote, the signs. I've gone by the signs. So when you said the world's going to have to show me, it's awkward because it's awkward to say that. And if anybody out there has gone through some stuff and you thought, this must not be meant for me. Because I keep running into obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. That must be God telling me, man, this ain't meant for me. And it's so funny that you say that because it's almost, you have to be careful almost. I know what you're saying, but you don't have to be careful saying that because sometimes the world shows you that it's not a good idea, and then you have the Teslas. You have the people who literally, and not even Teslas, you have other people who just constantly were told, the first automobile, the light bulb, the telephone. I know somebody made a joke, it was on a comedian, it was a skit from a comedian that talked about it. So you want to talk to other people in another room, and you're not, like not there. You're like, so I know people thought he was crazy. I know people think other people are crazy, and the whole world would show you. You basically, because you are attempting to do something that is not normal, you're going to be shown or going to be given every reason why you quote unquote shouldn't do this. But that's the fortitudinous of the human spirit. That's where you need that other side, because if mom, and I agree, I'm not disagreeing with mama, because mama's a smart woman. She's very wise. She passed that on to her son, but at the same time, it's almost like that was mama's talking. Now we have to update it 2.0. So, because you're gonna get tested. Pretty much is what I'm getting at.
But my thing is this: so every time something gets difficult, that doesn't mean it's not for you. It just means that it can even mean the complete opposite. That's why I'm like what we're tuned into. If you're tuned in, it's like this. People always, like you said, people are looking for signs and messages. If you're sitting in a house, you're confined to a room, you refuse to leave, you don't do anything to you don't put yourself in a situation where your circumstances can change. Meaning, like, you're saying whatever your belief, the universe, God, or whatever, you want the universe, God, to do something for you, but you can't even get out to allow whatever it is that you believe in, your higher calling, your higher power, to be able to connect with you, because they're trying to connect to you or through you, through people, through situations, but you're confined to yourself. So how can you the level of expectation, to me, I'm like, it doesn't, everything, I have a new sense of value for mathematics, and especially probability and statistics.
Which is algebra.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because now, as I've gotten older, I realize that what people say, well, what are the chances of me doing X, Y, Z? Well, that's a question that you can literally answer depending upon what you're doing. Number one, 9 times out of 10, someone's done it or done something similar to it. So if you can kind of follow that path, the probability of you becoming successful is greatly enhanced. But if you sit on your ass and don't do anything, the probability of it happening for you is slim to none. Once again, so it doesn't boil down to what school you went to, who you know, who you don't know. Those things are contributors. I give it that. Those things can help you. But at the same time, those things are irrelevant if you don't do certain things, or you don't put yourself in situations where a good situation can manifest itself for you. That's what it boils down to. And that's why I put so much emphasis on action. Because the action, getting out, that's an action. I don't know what may happen, but I do know what's going to happen if I sit here. The probability of nothing happening is greatly enhanced because I know I'm doing nothing. But if I get out, I don't know where I'm going. We always talk about this all the time, where I just go on exploration out, and we wind up meeting someone, we wind up talking to someone new that gives us a new point of view. That's the universe, your higher power, higher calling, or whatever it is you want to define it as. That's it trying to reach out to you, saying, hey, you've been thinking about this. Let me reaffirm that idea to you, right? Hey, why am I getting so much adversities? But what I realized in the struggle of business is just as much adversity you get. If you hang in there long enough, you're going to get just as much help and assistance to show you that it is right. But if it was easy, Mom always used to say, if it was easy, everyone would do it. Everybody would do it. It's not. That's the point. Everyone can't have your dream. Everyone's not willing to go down your journeys. A lot of people say they would like to have the money Oprah Winfrey has, or they might want to have the money that what's his name for Virgin Mobile, Sir Bronson. Yeah. I want to have that money, but do you know his story? Would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to endure some of the things that Oprah had to do? And a lot of people, the answer would be no. So understand that that's that person's journey. Don't compare yourself to that journey. Your journey is unique to you, just like your fingerprint. I always go back down to the basics, the fingerprint. Only you got that. No one before you, after you, except for you in the now will have that. So that's your purpose. Your journey is going to be different. I don't care, what family you came from or what legacy you had or how much money you come from. It's still your journey. You're going to determine. You got people that come from prominent families and they not doing nothing with their life. And you got people that came from nothing and they're doing great things now. Mm-hmm. That was their journey, and they made certain decisions along that journey that allowed them to be where they're at now, but they still had to endure a lot to get there. But to them, it was worth it. It was worth it to them knowing that just having a possibility. The reason President Obama, one, because he predicated his whole thing on hope. You know, hope doesn't guarantee nothing, but it's just a belief that there's a possibility that some doors have been opened, that there's a possibility that we can do it if we want it bad enough. We're willing to fight for it. Mm-hmm. That's a possibility. People thought that we would never have an African American president, but we did. It became a possibility because of what he had to do and what he had to endure throughout that to be where he's at, where he was at, and where he's at today. Mm-hmm. Does that make? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know I went on a little rant there, but that's my outlook on that. You know, I always had the outlook of, you got to get out there. You got to take the action. Even if you lack the talent, the ability, it's just a matter of time. If, you know, you start playing the violin or the guitar or whatever, you may suck. You know you suck. But guess what? You keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and you keep doing it. Eventually, your suckness going to be to, hey, I can go to a one of these poetry places or a coffee shop and play little music while people drinking their coffee. You know, that's how I start. And I'm all right enough to get in there. Then from there, you know, you might go from having a little show at the comedy club. But you're building. You had to start somewhere. If you never picked up the pick and you never even started, you're just sitting there. It could be a possibility. But I suck. Everyone sucks. The baby sucks.
What did I say? That's why I
said earlier. The baby literally sucks. Right?
That's why I literally brought up the baby, because the baby doesn't know any better. It literally, I mean, we've all heard this before, or at least I know you and I have heard this before, but, you know, the baby, they say a baby may fall 10,000 times, something crazy between the time of starting to maybe the 10,000, but maybe 1,000. But the whole point is that between the time it starts to first start trying to walk to the day it's physically walking on its own, it picks up itself off the couch and walks away, whatever the case may be. But if that baby had the mindset of an adult, and there'd be a bunch of wheelchairs around here.
Is it? I mean, it boils down to, they said to become an expert in anything, it's 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
10,000 hours gives you an expert.
I think my brain was thinking that 10,000 hours.
10,000 hours. Like, so the thing about it, you ask anybody to say, well, I want to do something. And, well, I've done this for so-and-so, so-and-so. I ask them simple question, have you spent over 10,000 hours doing it? And 9% they're going to tell you no. Have you studied it for 10,000 hours? No. Have you even worked it for 10,000 hours? No. Have you thought about it for 10,000 hours? No. Well, that's why. I mean, yeah, you know, like you have to. C.T. Fletcher said in his videos, he calls it a magnificent obsession. Like, you gotta want something so bad, you gotta want it so much, you gotta be freaking obsessed with it. Like people on the outside, I've had people tell me this. Oh man, you work too much. You gotta have balance. You gotta have. And I'm like, yo, you know what? At first I was like, yeah, they're right. And then I realized, no, you're wrong. There's a place in time. I'm gonna say this. There's a place in time for everything. Me having quote unquote this balance that a lot of people talk about, their balance, they equivalent to balance is, oh, you gotta have fun along the way. You gotta have fun. And some people may disagree. This is my truth. My truth is this: I rather put my head down for 6 months and have everything I have be magnificently obsessed with one thing, get that going, that the rest of my life can be comfortable. Les Brown said this. He said, if you live a life that you're comfortable now, and I'm paraphrasing this, if you live a life that's comfortable now, you'll be uncomfortable later. If you're uncomfortable now, you could be comfortable for the rest of your life. I'd rather be uncomfortable now and then have the rest of my life being uncomfortable. See, it would be nice on a birthday, we're gonna turn up, right? We're gonna have fun. Why? My thing is this: why am I celebrating mediocrity? Why am I celebrating failure? If I'm not where I want to be, I don't want to turn up. I want to reflect on how the next year, I'm 35, what's going to happen between 35 to 36. That's why I want to reflect on how can I make that better. I don't want to turn up like I did something this is my truth now. I'm not speaking for everyone else and saying this is how you should do it. My thing, I don't want to turn up. I don't see any reason to turn up. I need to get some things in order so that I can turn up. And when I turn up, I never turned down. See, what's the point of you go out for the weekend for your birthday to turn up for 2 or 3 days, and Monday morning you back, and now you got to wait 300 and something more days till you can turn it up again. I want to turn up 365, live the life that I want to, when I want to, with who I want to, how I want to. That's my turn up. And I want to do that every day I wake up. I just don't want to do that during certain days of the year. And then I got to go back to my bullshit ass reality.
Yeah. You get an escape. I don't want an escape.
Yeah, that's all it is. Escape. But see, that's the thing. You think about when people say, yeah, we can't escape. What are you escaping from? Yeah. You're escaping from hell?
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Not even just hell, but if you have to escape from something, then that to me that's a clear sign that that's something you might want to walk away from. But that's and I get it. I'm not trying to, I can't. I'm not trying to tell everybody in the world that you need to become something else, but
it's not about telling them. It's just telling your truth. Yeah, some people can resonate with it. Some people are like, nah, that's not what I want to do. Everyone has a choice. That's the thing. Everyone, to go back, the journey. Everyone has a different journey. My journey, what I've seen is that I need to get serious. I need to be uncomfortable for a period of time. I'm willing to accept that in my journey. That may not be someone else's journey. They may have. It almost goes back to to people that's in recovery. It goes back to the idea where people say, you can say, man, they're hurting their family, they're hurting this, when they're tired, that's when the healing begins. When they've had their last drink. Their last drink don't come because you're crying and you at their feet and please don't. That may not be the last drink. That may not be the last hit.
No.
That's not going to come from that. It's going to come from when they're tired and they're done. That's when the healing can begin. That's when the transformation happens. So my mama said, when a person gets tired of something, that's when something happens. It goes back to the dog sitting on the nail. If that dog's comfortable sitting on that nail, it hurts him, but it don't hurt him enough that he wants to use the energy to get up off of it. Well, it hurts, but it's been hurting. What's the song? People get what's the name of the song? Somebody that I used to know. He said sometimes people get used to a certain type of sadness. Mm-hmm. You get accustomed to it. You get accustomed to struggling. You okay with it. It's not that bad. So me leaving out of the situation to get on maybe a possible, in their mind they're pushing a bigger nail. Yeah. Sharper, brand new, out the box, fresh. Mm-hmm. Still got it ain't rusty no more. It's a nice shiny one. And it's big. Oh man, I don't want that new shiny nail in my butt. I'd rather keep on the little rusty one. Actually, matter of fact, it don't even hurt that bad.
I don't feel that really too much.
But that's the human. That's our human. How we picture things. We're all guilty of it. Shit, I'm guilty of it. It don't hurt bad enough for me to do something. But then when my back's pushed to the wall, all of a sudden I can pull stuff out of my butt and make things happen. But why does it have to get to the point? Why does it have to get to the point where our back's totally to the wall? So only way we got is to get up off the wall.
Then that comes. I won't say it does. In my eyes, I believe that may generate from childhood and how we were raised. Because I think that's something that's taught too. And that's pretty much what I'm getting at. Is that I think when
nature versus nurture. Yeah. So you're talking about the nurture part of it.
Yeah, there's the family sides. I know there's some hard families out there. I've been around some families that they teach business all the time, and every lesson in life is some form of business lesson. And these kids grow up and like what do they say? The rich about leaving money to the kids is the most. No, that's not the most important.
You left the blueprint.
When they leave blueprints, because they leave some of these kids. We've all seen the stories where either movies or whatever. What's the name? Son just got out of a prison. 7 years he was in there. I can't remember which actor. His son just got out of prison after 7 years, which tells you that having all the money in the world did nothing for him. He partied, he had drugs, he did everything he wanted to, but he doesn't have a system. He never picked up a system in how to actually make wealth. Hilton, when she went out there, did her video and did her crazy stuff and was having fun, had a TV show, and she made the Hiltons look pretty stupid. They did not appreciate that. They realized that the other children, they got the plan, they got the understanding. She was not going to get that hotel because she never picked it up. She wasn't listening to that. She was just enjoying the money. Now she's a DJ. She makes a little bit of money, but So in other words, she's proving that she has some form of entrepreneurial spirit, but for the most part, she didn't listen to the plan. So all that money in the world don't mean nothing. But yes, that passing that on, that right there is.
But maybe that's her. But see, that's the thing about it is almost like that prodigal son coming back. It's like, I look at that situation. I say, you know what? You never know how the story, because the story's still being written.
It's still being written.
So
I'm not hating on her now.
But that could be her journey that she had to go through that to be. There's gonna be the saving grace for her family. Yeah. But it took a process. She had to go through a different journey, and I think that, and that's the thing, is like we stand back, and because we took a particular journey, let's just say our journey worked out, well, we're not hurting for anything, we're not ballers, but we ain't hurting, so we're so judgmental when someone else does something different. Like, hey, if you don't get stuff back in line, man, you ain't gonna have no 401k. Hey, you don't get things back in line, you ain't gonna have no retirement. I don't know what you do. How are you taking yourself? What's your medical? You need a job with benefits, because I'm telling you, you don't want to get my age and not have these things in place, because you're gonna be in trouble, Jack. But they're looking at their journey from their time period.
Well, that's their lenses.
With their lenses. But that's not saying that what they're saying is wrong. It's not saying that what you're saying is right. At the end of the day, that was their journey. You got to find your own journey, because you can listen to someone else. Think about this. I know you got some light to shed on this. I'm gonna share this one. Think about Albert Einstein as we know him, and I wrote about this in my first book, Becoming Who You Should Be, Despite Who You Are. I said, just imagine if Albert Einstein decided that selling insurance door to door was more important than his life's work. Now think about it. Now I'm not making that up. This is real life. This is a fact that he was actually selling insurance, and he was actually debating if he was going to continue to do that. He would have never got the job at the patent office, So we may never have. Well, I'm not gonna say never. Someone would probably eventually come up with it, but maybe not. Who knows what we would be scientifically or mathematically if he didn't come up with what was it?
Relativity.
The relativity.
That was just one of his biggest known.
Yeah. So think about that for a second. If he has sold himself short, listen with everyone. Hey, you got to have a job. You got to have benefits. You got a family. You took all that in an equation. You're selling insurance, not knowing the other side of that is that you'll be one of the most influential person to ever touch the face of the earth when it comes to science and mathematics. Right? Just think about that for a second. So, what level of greatness are you? I always tell people, like, don't be selfish. Or my reason for going out and do something is that I don't want to be selfish, because if I got these gifts and I got these thoughts and these ideas in my head and I keep them there and I never act on them, how many other people want to act on them? And I could be the saving grace to one person that they can really resonate with, and they see me out there doing it and say, well, you know what? If that guy can do it, I can do it too. Right? That's how I look at things. That's why I go out and do it. I don't know it doesn't have to be perfect, because nothing in life is perfect. There's nothing perfect, but I know that if I keep doing it, I'm going to get better. But that's where the consistency part comes into it, because once again, the wind is rustling. You can't do it. Who do you think you are? How dare you? You don't have this. You don't meet the qualifications, right? There's no qualification. The only qualifications for anything is the qualifications or the limitations we put on ourselves. That's how I look at it. So I try not to put, I'm like, the world's already gonna put limitations on you. Shit, if somebody gonna put chains on you already, why the hell would you go to the store and buy more chains to put on yourself?
I like that. That's good.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, the world's already putting chains on you. Gonna hey, can I get 5 new chains?
And what's funny is that, we get these chains, we walk inside somewhere, and we see the chains that someone else is rustling.
Can I borrow that? I can help.
They definitely are going, hey, man, I got some chains right here, man. These are the chains I've been using my whole life. So, do you want... You know what? I think I like your chains, too. Got the nice little rusty red kind of... I like that, yeah. So now, like you said, so you not only do you make up, in other words, buy new chains, because you've already been programmed, or I would say you've had chains since you were a kid. And I hate to say it, about these chains are, it's the, what do they call it, the elephant theory?
Yeah.
I mean,
get so used to it, they move the chains, you're still not gonna do nothing.
The rope, the tiny, the threaded little piece, the piece of thread that holds the baby elephant at one point, it's the same rope, and that rope is, we talking about a quarter-inch thick.
Dry rot.
Yeah, an old man, a good old strong man could break that rope with his bare hands. But here this 10,000-pound elephant is being held by the same rope because all he had to do is feel just a little bit of resistance. Just a little bit of resistance.
You know, I'm gonna try to clean this one up, but my mom said some stuff, and I'm trying to clean it up the best way I can. So I would complain about stuff when I was little. I would complain. I said, "Mama, this ain't fair." Just in the third, I'm like, "Well, life ain't fair." What do you think? You think you'd accept to the rule? Somehow, you know, everything supposed to line up for you. You just step in the room, you just bad. And I was like, she said, okay. She said, so everything bad, huh? She said, everything bad? She said, could you tell me anything good? I was down. I said, what you mean good? Mama said, you got a place to stay? Yeah. You got food to eat? Yeah. You got electricity? Yeah. But what? So my mom said, I tell you what. She said, you go over here. He said, you gonna meet somebody, you complaining and stuff like that. She said, if people are around and hear each other's problem that they have, right? And you complaining so much, and they said, well, you can take your burdens on and lay them right here. Everything that you going, all your woes, all your troubles, you just lay it down right here, right? But this is the catch. When you leave up out of there, you gotta have burdens. You gotta have them burdens back on you. She didn't say what burdens. She said the burdens. I didn't catch that. She said you gotta have them burdens right on you. So, but you can lay it off long to the room. So you come in the room, you lay your burdens down, right? People looking. Shit. Damn, I don't look too bad over there. They lay their little burdens down. I know when I get ready to leave up out of here, I gotta get some burden. I don't want them burdens. I just lay it down. I tell you what. Come over there and get your little burden. Walk out the room. You up there. Oh, yeah, man, I feel much better. All right, time to go, everybody. Where my problems at? Hey, everybody start leaving. You see little burden right there. You got a high blood pressure, sugar, gout, health failing, bankruptcy, this, that, and the third. You don't want them problems. You say, oh, my goodness, man, where my problems at? No, I don't want this. I don't want this problem. You can't complain like you got your problem. It's okay. You've been meant to have those problems. Deal with those problems. Because guess what? I guarantee you there's a million other people lined up would love to have your problem. And they give you theirs. And you might not want their problems. Accept the problem that you have. But understand that with every problem, there is a solution. Right? Patience got to come into that sometimes. Sometimes a problem don't necessarily iron itself out. Old movie. It was LL Cool J. I want to say, I'm trying to remember the LL Cool J, Cedric Entertainer. I think it was the movie where they're burying their father. I'm trying to think of the movie.
Funeral with Chris Rock.
Yeah. And Anthony.
That's his age. Anthony.
Anyway, yeah. Whatever that movie, I think it might have been the funeral, or whatever. But the end of the movie is the most profound to me. LL Cool J, he's sitting on the swing and he's talking. I want to say it was either the Anthony or Cedric. I don't remember who he was talking to. It might have been all of them out there. He was talking to the brothers, and he said sometimes when things are broken, it's okay for it to be broken for a while, and that's where it comes to patience. Sometimes we try to solve problems like it has to be solved right now. Well, I got a cash flow issue, got to be solved right now. That's why I got to keep the job. Sometimes things are supposed to be broken. There's some lessons you got to learn in that brokenness. Understand that there's a solution, but it may take time. It might not be your time at this moment to solve that problem. But know that if you're diligent, you go out there and you're making a conscious effort, that it can work itself out eventually. But it's a process. You know, we live in a society where everything's so damn zip. You know, you want to ride, get on the phone, hit a button, you don't got to talk to no one. Next thing you know, car's pulling up. So you get a message, your car's here. We live in that type of microwave society. So when it comes to working and getting success, we expect it to be instantaneous. But what we don't know is the people that have gotten success, it may appear as if it's instantaneous, but that could have been 10, 20 years span.
You didn't know it was an oven. It wasn't a microwave. It was an oven.
It was an oven.
You had to heat it up.
It seemed like they got it overnight. But, you know, like, what's the comedian, little short one? Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was out for a minute before he got into the hiatus he's in now.
I saw some, it's recent, it's funny you said it, because I saw some movies from 2008.
He was up there with what's the name to make the movies on Spike Lee movies and stuff. Damon Dash movies, right? Shout out to my boy Damon Dash. Hey, that's my boy. But he was doing stuff since then, but he wasn't. But he kept going. Some people say, well, that was his best performance. That wasn't his best this. It wasn't his best that. But he kept going. Now he, even David Chappelle gave him some props on his, like, hey, man, nobody was bigger than Kevin Hart. Hey, he got it going on. I got to give the bro props because he did his thing. He focused. He got on his game. He put his head down. He was uncomfortable for a long period of time. It wasn't overnight, but he was consistent. He kept doing it, and then he finally got what he wanted.
And that's the one word also that how this kind of halfway all started. And that's one of the bigger things is the F word.
What's that? Focus.
Because if Kevin Hart was doing insurance, comedy, 3 other things, we don't know how it would have turned out. And that's the one thing that I'm working on now is because I'm stretched thin. It's not coming from a place of fear and all other stuff. It's literally coming from I'm realizing how, I won't say how far, but how much I think more I would have developed had I kept putting energy towards one thing.
Rear view.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
side view, rear view.
I'm not driving through it. It's just that you need to glance up every so often.
Yeah, but I just talked about this the other day. I'm like, side view and rear view mirrors, they're very important. You got those are reflection points. You look back and see how far you travel. You looking in the back, you're like, damn, we made some progress, right? But you have a lot of people, they driving through life, but they pay more attention to the side view and the rear view. Now, once again, back on probability here, right? The probability of you getting in an accident is greatly enhanced if you constantly looking in your side view, rear view, more than focus on the windshield where you're going. Yeah. Now, keep looking behind you, guess what? You don't see that our car just hit his brakes and you slowing down and you in this lane. You keep looking back. Look. Boom. Right? Now, you messed up your whole thing. What you had going on, and when you hit the accident, guess what? The accident, because that's symbolic to life. Now you got an accident. You only had liability, so guess what? You ain't got no car no more. Your car gone because it was your fault. You hit him from your car's gone. You're gonna get a ticket that you can't pay for, right? I'm going back to Grandmaster Days. That's the stuff he told me. Like it is against the law to be poor, and he broke that stuff down. I'm like, I'm breaking it down now. It's like you get in that car accident in real life, or symbolically, you get in that car accident. Everything you had going on, the momentum you had gets destroyed because you're more focused on what's behind you than what's in front of you. You had liability on your car. You got liability in your business and your life. Right? So meaning that you didn't save enough money to protect you in an unforeseen accident, in the car accident and in your life. So now you don't got no workman's comp. You don't got no insurance. You don't got none of these things in place. So now you created chaos in your own life. Then you say, a lot of us will say, oh, it's this or bad luck. No, the probability enhanced because of the decisions and actions you took or did not take is why you're in the situation that you're in. And that's the reality. And I'm not saying that's anyone's reality. I'm saying that's my reality, because that's what I've experienced during my journey. I can't say this for everyone.
Actually, you kind of can, because the real truth of the matter is we're a product of the day before. And even if you didn't choose it per se, you're still a product of the day before. And that's not necessarily bad. That's the thing about it. Is as long as we accept as human beings that we accept that I'll say it's newer for me in the last few years when someone said there's no such thing as a bad day or a bad thing. It's you live or you learn kind of a thing. It's a good day or you learn, not live and learn, but it's good or you learn. It's no bad. And I'm like, okay. I heard it back in the day. It didn't really kind of hit me for a while. I can't give a specific time on it, but it didn't hit me for a while that I really started understanding that there is no bad. It's really what you do with what you've got. Now, did the accident need to happen? No. Maybe, or maybe it did. Maybe you needed to get an accident.
Interruption.
To kind of, oh, shoot. Shouldn't have been driving staring at the rear view. And maybe that person may spend the rest of their life never looking in the rear view. One idea. The other person, unfortunately, depending on how they, the receipts or the product of where they came from, the product of who they. Not saying you can't change it, because as the book says, despite who you are, but the idea that it's the habits. We don't change these habits. We don't change these patterns. The cycle continues. It's just, and it's so much of what we're talking about. It's so many different elements. It's once decided, it literally goes back to the cake theory that you said about having all the ingredients and not having the eggs, or not having this or not having the sugar, and that's a nasty cake. You have sugar, but
or matter of fact, guess what? You thought you weren't paying attention and you didn't read, or the stuff was shifted and you added salt instead of sugar.
Yeah, salt, sugar. Yeah.
Woo, man, that's gonna be one nasty cake. I don't care how pretty it looks, but when somebody bite into it, woo,
it's gonna burn.
Like, wow.
All right, guys, that concludes the Start Thinking Forward podcast. I hope it touched you. I hope it transformed you. I hope you go back and listen to some of those points of shortcomings and things that we both went through during our journey and continuously in our journey of being entrepreneurs, being self-starters, being founders, being creators and artists. Like so many of you guys out there, use this as an example to understand that the marathon, you're going to have to be in a lot of shoes. You're going to have to do a lot of things. If anyone wants to figure out their future, there doesn't have to be a hotline for it. It's simply probability and statistics. If you do certain things and line your life up, then you have a better chance of getting it accomplished. So, I hope what we talked about, I hope you really listened and understood it. Go back, rewind. This is just unadulterated truth coming out in this conversation. Hey guys, until next time, continue to start thinking forward.
Thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the Start Thinking Forward show and supporting our message of hope and inspiration. We hope this message has truly served and impacted your life in a positive way. In a world full of distractions, disappointments, and a multitude of pains, we must reflect on the fact of what we have, then on the notion of what we don't. So my challenge to you is simple. You may be having that age-old question pondering in your head at this current moment. How can I help? Well, here's your opportunity to make a difference in this world one person at a time by joining forces with the Motivational King. When you share this unique message throughout various social media platforms, you could be potentially saving a life, encouraging a business owner to give it another push, or simply allowing a child to believe they can achieve anything with the correct mindset and the desire to win. Friends, family, and associates all need to hear this message of hope. So be a flare and share because you truly care. Don't be antisocial. Follow us on Facebook at The Real Motivational King or visit our website at www.brendonldraper.com. Thank you.